State versus Michael Martinez.
In handcuffs and striped jail jumpsuit, the former Phoenix police officer faced a judge Friday morning, apologizing for what he called shameful decisions.
I would like to begin with apologizing and asking for forgiveness from everybody involved in this case.
He apologized for his actions and to Phoenix police officers and the community he once served.
I spent most of my adult life working in public safety and law enforcement. All I ever wanted to do was help people.
Michael Martinez was arrested in 2022 after investigators say he used his personal phone while on duty to arrange sex for money. Then met the woman, Jennifer Beede, after his shift at a Phoenix hotel. Less than 24 hours later, Beede was found dead inside a suitcase in the desert north of Phoenix. Two suspects, her handler Crystal Holsey and Holsey's boyfriend, Jose Jaquez, now face first-degree murder charges. Martinez was never named as a suspect or charged in her death, but pleaded guilty to 2 counts of sexual abuse in February after 2 other women he encountered while working came forward.
The defendant used his uniform as a shield or as a cover to go ahead and try to get away with his crimes.
I had spent most of my adult life helping people with their problems, but I had never addressed my own. When I was 4 years old, I was sexually abused.
Friday, Martinez told the court childhood trauma, depression, and anxiety fueled years of destructive behavior.
I've also considered that he presents as a lower risk. I see that he is amenable to treatment, and I recognize that how all these factors point to his potential for rehabilitation.
But the judge also cited serious aggravating factors, including multiple victims and Martinez abusing a position of trust while wearing the Phoenix police uniform.
It's a judgment of the court that the defendant served a term of 1.5 years in Department of Corrections.
The judge ordered 10 years supervised probation after prison and is holding off on deciding whether Martinez will need to register as a sex offender until then. The separate murder charge tied to Jennifer Beede's death is currently set for trial this summer. Of course, we'll keep you updated on that. Reporting live here, Alexis Dominguez for Arizona's Family.